Hello everyone. Shingles. Let's look at shingles. 1 in 3 Americans are going to get shingles. That seems to be the figure. They're good at figures, the Americans. So a third of the population. It made me realize what a all-encompassing and serious illnesses is. It's not just affecting my mum, it's affecting vast numbers of people. So I want to go first of all straight into the shamanic realms and give you a perspective from those ways of looking at things. So when we think of shingles, what I'm aware of is this is an illness which is causing great pain, like a burning sensation on the very ends of the nerves. And having been with my mum going through this incredible ordeal, which has been going on for months now, it's to realize that when a person gets an illness like this, to first of all realize that there's the stress, there's the aging program, which is obviously strongly affected by being 89. These are factors which definitely make things worse. Then what I would call a poor diet, rich in refined sugar and refined carbohydrates, that's definitely going to make it worse. So there's these predisposing factors. But from a sheer shamanic perspective, what we're dealing with is an illness which is coming up in order for the person to heal. This is one of the essential understandings we get from the shamanic realms, is all illnesses are attempts to heal. That's what they are. Cancer, heart disease, whether it's a fatal illness or not, it's always an attempt to heal. And so what we've got with something like shingles is this is a great outpouring of pain in the physical levels, because that pain could not be experienced in the higher levels, particularly emotionally. So what happens is we start with a sense of disease which begins in the spiritual level, it works its way down to the mental level, the emotional level, and finally there's only one place it's got left to go, and that of course is in the physical. So that's it. So the physical anguish and torment, like being tortured, which is what shingles is like for the person, that's because the pain couldn't come out other ways. And so it's helpful to understand that's actually a last-ditch attempt by your being to release old painful emotions. If you're not able to feel them in your emotional body, it comes out as physical pain. That's really helpful to know that. And I've been able to explain that to my mum and communicate to her this to her a few times. It really helps her to realize this is a bigger picture thing going on. And then there's something else which is going to be a little bit disturbing for some of you, but from the shamanic perspective, from the perspective of the bigger picture and the ancestors, what happens is a person can choose to take on the release and the relief through release of a great pain, and they're doing that not just for themselves, but actually for their descendants. So my mum is making this incredible sacrifice that she's having this healing illness which is causing the release of all this anguish and pain, because she's clearing it from her own being, but also she's clearing it from her ancestral line as well, for the benefit of her descendants too. Right, I want to focus in, that's the biggest picture. So having accepted that, what we need to do now is to say, what can we do to help her heal? So as usual, the biggest thing to help a person heal is the relaxation. And it's no surprise, I'm sure, to you to realize that we're going to go straight to one of our old friends, and that's the green medicine. So we have the green medicine in the form of the CBD oil. This particular one is in the form of a spray, so you can spray it under the tongue. This one is in the form of a dropper, so you can just literally put drops under the tongue. You can count that out. So dosage of this one be a specific number of drops. With a spray it would be a squirt. So that's how you start off with that. Now in the case of my mum, because of her difficulties with the very strong taste of cannabis, let's be honest, some people like the taste of cannabis and some people find it repugnant. Mum's in the latter category, so what I've done is I've realised what I need to do is I've got hold of some capsules. So I get the capsule and I literally put, first of all it was 1 squirt into the capsule, take the lid off, a squirt, put the lid on, gradually worked up to 2 squirts, so that's how much she's having now. And I'm doing this because it means I can give her this, she can take it, and she doesn't have the horrible reaction to the taste. So although it's much better to have this medicine in the liquid form under the tongue and let it sit in your mouth for a number of minutes, that's the best way, no question, gets in quickest. In the situation we're in, beggars can't be choosers. The only thing that really matters is to get it into a system. So that's what we're doing. So she's having this every night, or every early evening actually, about 5 p.m. Every other evening she's having what I refer to as the blue medicine. The blue medicine is this very particular mushroom that when you pick them fresh and you break the stems turn a dark blue, black colour. It's called bluing. So what she's having is a microdose of the blue medicine, a really small amount. I started off on 0.06 of a gram every other day. We're just going up now to 0.07 of a gram. That really is microdosing, less than 0.1 of a gram. So that's every other day. So let's talk about these 2 medicines. So all the cannabis medicine is to do with the relief of the neuropathic pain. That's a pain on the extremities. And in her particular case, she's relatively fortunate because it's actually the legs. If you're very unfortunate, it can actually occur in a place like the eye, in which case there's a risk of blindness. So it can be a very, very disturbing experience, apart from all the severity of the pain, depending on where it happens to hit you in the body. So what this medicine is doing is it's entering the endocannabinoid system, and it's using that as the way to get in to the nerve endings and to actually release the pain from those nerve endings. So that's why it's such a godsend. What the blue medicine, the fungus, the mushroom medicine is doing is that's helping with the mood, so lifting her mood and helping her to not get bogged down into what I would call unhelpful thoughts, which of course is the other great value of the cannabis medicine. Very, very good for that. So there's another form in which we've got the cannabis medicine, and this is in an oil. So this particular one contains this full spectrum Rick Simpson THC oil together with the CBD oil in a carrier, and this is a simple preparation. This is a simple carrier which is coconut oil. Now in this country, in the UK this time of year, the great thing about this is it's solid at room temperature, so it means that what she can do is, with my mum, the most important thing, she always wants to do things herself, of course, so it means she can put her own hand into the pot and she can smear it exactly where she wants onto the most painful parts of her body. That is really helpful for her. Now this gives fantastic topical relief, so she puts this on, she starts to feel an improvement within a short space of time. Really good. The main issue about the shingles is the pain is so severe that because she's in a home and I'm only able to give her these things when I go to visit her, so she's on the orthodox medications the rest of the time, the paracetamol, the gabapentin, which is a neuropathic pain medicine from the orthodox side, so she's doing the orthodox route and the alternative route. So this medicine is really great for putting onto the affected areas. The other thing it's really good for is to actually just put very simply onto the soles of the feet. And I've discovered that the best thing to do is don't do it too lightly, don't do it too hard, just do it in between and just get it on there, because that means that the skin absorption is a really good way to get the medicine in, but the soles of the feet is a particularly good way because you've got all the relation with all the different organs in the body. So when it goes to the soles of the feet, you're really doing great work. So what we've been doing is we've been doing more online research. We've come across a number of things, so yet more of nature's medicine to add to the list of things. So this one is a very familiar friend, and this is very much what we offer in every retreat or retreats. There's a juice with a pineapple, and the reason why is the pineapple contains particular enzymes which are incredibly good for nourishing the liver, but in our particular case here, they actually do something against the virus, which is what is causing the problem. So I should explain a little bit of science now. The shingles is created by the varicella virus, which is the same one as causes chickenpox. Herpes, all very direct relationships. So chickenpox, herpes, shingles are all healed with the same medicines. That's really what I'm explaining. So when I gave my mum this pineapple for the first time yesterday, the noticeable thing is she was so keen on having it. She just couldn't get enough of it. She was getting it in the mouth. She was really getting all the juice in there because she knew on a purely instinctive body level that this is what she needs. So it's great to know a simple fruit like this is a very powerful healer for the shingles. And then we go down the next stage of the route, which is to look at all the different things we can do in terms of supplements to help. So this is an amino acid called lysine, got a very good track record with curing shingles. Healing, should I say, prefer to use the word heal rather than cure, because it's more of an appropriate term. So it's an amino acid, follow the directions, that's great to make use of lysine. Something else that's also very good to do is to get plenty of vitamin D3 and also vitamin K2, and it turns out, as often is the case, there's a strong relationship between these two vitamins. So D3 and K2, this particular formulation's got both of them in. Now I'd actually like to give her a much higher potency of vitamin D3, but this is all I've been able to get so far, 1,000 international units. It would be better to get her something between 20,000 and 50,000, and we will research online to see if we can obtain something stronger for her in that sense. And the K2, it's not as high as I'd like it to be, but it's all a start, and this is often what we have to do when we're taking someone through a healing process. You want to get them the best thing you can as soon as possible, and once you get that in, you can start to add other things too. And then one which might seem a little bit strange, because now I'm giving her vitamin B1. Now B1 is not directly to do with the healing of the shingles, but it's to do with something very important. So when a person is in agonizing pain pretty much all the time except for when they're asleep, this is really difficult because it means that their mind is likely to go round and round and round in the same loop, which is it's agonizing. When will it stop? So what this is designed to do is to cause a quietening of the rational mind. So this is really brain medicine, the B1, and it means that the person becomes more relaxed in their mind, and that does help greatly. The other thing that's very good to do if you're not 89 is to engage in as much of the good physical exercise as you can do. Getting into the water, having a wild water experience is obviously going to be incredibly therapeutic. Doing yoga, doing tai chi, doing qigong, all these practices are going to help. Particularly any practice which is a physical practice of exercise which causes you to feel relaxed afterwards. And I would also strongly recommend dancing as something that would be very, very helpful indeed. And simply walking, let's not forget, walking is such a great form of exercise in pretty much all situations. You can only benefit from that. And if you're walking in wild nature, even better. Very familiar, isn't it? So this was going really well, and then my partner did discover something which is of extraordinary significance, and this is a doctor who she follows on YouTube called Dr. Berg, very keen on the ketogenic diet. Now, because my mum is in the home, we can't really work on the diet. We have to accept the diet as it is, but if you can go off the sugar, the refined carbohydrates, increase the fats, increase the proteins, all these things are going to help you, and you can look up your ketogenic diet. That's very easy for you to do. But what I want to specifically focus on is this magical form of massage which he's discovered. So what he found out is that the body is very much divided into the left and right hand side. So when you look at a person who's got shingles, you will tend to find it's on one side of the body more than the other. So if it's on the left side, that's really to do with things being held in, and we need to help the person to release. If it's on the right hand side, that's a great sign because it's already the side of releasing. So fortunately, my mum's shingles is located on the leg and the groin and of the right side, and the very centre of the lower back. Those are places which are bad, but it's particularly the right groin that's the worst. And even more especially, it's actually underneath the right knee. And so what happened is, in her explorations with this massage practice yesterday, Waxar discovered the exact spot that's appropriate. So I mean, to make this really clear, if the problem is the right side of the body, what you're going to do is you're going to massage on the mirror image. So if the problem is underneath the right knee, the place to be massaging is under the left knee. It really is so strange. And it's to do with the relationship of the nervous system to the brain. So by massaging, and first of all you have to start off very gently, and then you need to keep the massage going for 2 to 3 minutes. Ideally the dream is to do it for 3 minutes, and you want to be focusing on that spot, and you want to be watching the client very carefully. This is something that the shingles client is pretty much unable to do for themselves because of the level of pain they're in. They need someone to do this for them. So when you are massaging this spot, you will know when you found the right spot by the reaction of the person. So it will, during the massage, be difficult for them because they will really be feeling the pain on the side of the body which is actually hurting, and there you are massaging the other side. And we will do this on a daily basis to get the good results. And apparently what happens if you keep on doing this on a daily basis, the signals are sent from the healthy side peripheral nerves up into the brain. The brain then communicates this message to the peripheral nerves on the wounded side and causes the wounded side to ease off. So this is where we've got up to in our journey for healing shingles, and I would definitely recommend to you to go and research online because there's so much good information out there. So just to summarize, all the cannabis medicine is so good because it works on the endocannabinoid system, which can go from there directly to the source of the pain, and then look at the vitamins and minerals that you can use to help, and look at nature's medicine in terms of fruits. The other one, apart from the pineapple, that's also very good is the papaya. So if you haven't got pineapples where you live, go for the papaya, just as good. So thank you very much for our look at helping to heal shingles.